What's that? Uh, Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Scores! He did it again!
I just killed him. Before the game, I just killed John Madden because of a stink bomb.
Split special teamers, and now Brown is off to the races. Hurdles, kicks him in.
Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, that was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
Game's over. Game is finally fucking be over.
Ed, you got to turn your mic on. I think. Got his hand on the button.
And now, our feature program.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
How's it going?
Oh, not too
What's
bad.
up, Travis? What's up, Jeremy? What's up, guys? It's been a week.
Yes,
Week.
yes, it has been a
It
week.
has been a week. Very
I'm
long
like
week.
It has. I thought it was only me that thought it was a long week.
Well, it's a lot of football. I mean, there's so much football in. But I like so much football. But every time we do this on a Thursday and we're watching the Thursday night game, next time we talk is, I mean, all these games already played, and it's just a lot of football. So it makes it a long week from Thursday to Thursday when we do the show.
It does.
I
At
don't
least,
mind.
at least the games this week were interesting. Well, at least some of the games were interesting.
They were.
A couple of them were snooze fest. It was just like, oh, come on, this thing's dragging on.
Some of them there was a quick blowout by the team that was supposed to lose, and then the other team came back and won in the end.
Yeah.
Yes. Or, yeah, that happened, yeah, a few times.
There was
It
a few
wasn't
of those
quite
left.
as the.
What was that?
I said there was a few of them left.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't as crazy as week 1, week 2, or week 3. Maybe things are gonna start calming down, and we can actually pick, logically who should win the next games. Because this first quarter is just like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. That first quarter of the season is very hard to predict any of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. The Jets are 2-2.
Mhm.
The Giants are 3-1.
Yep. I mean, who would have?
The Texans are the only ones that
Yeah, we
haven't
all-
won a game.
I think we all picked the Texans not to do so well.
Just think about it. If you would have made a bet that after 4 games the Giants would have been 3-1, you know how good of odds you would have had on that bet?
Yeah.
You'd
Oh,
probably be
absolutely.
retiring at this point in time.
Absolutely.
Throw $100 down, Jen, for the 4th game of the season. Okay, we'll give you 1,000,000 to 1 odds. Great.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, Chris is busy doing military things. He's becoming a chief. So
He is. He gets real life stuff and just ticks me off. He skipped out on yesterday's show of comic book issues, so we didn't do one of those. We did Comic Stuff podcast, and now he skips out of this because, it makes sense at 9:00 at night that he's doing chief stuff. I mean, I was in the military 22 years. 9:00 at night, I wasn't doing a damn thing. But then again, I didn't make
That's
that
that's
right.
because you're an underachiever. He's an overachiever.
he wants to be
I
a
was one
chief
of
no
those
matter
guys.
what it takes.
I did just enough to get promoted.
Yeah. Slowly.
Get by, right?
Yep, just enough to get by. Yeah. So I guess I'll do Chris's thing,
Yeah, you can.
and
We'll do the best to comment on the college.
that sounds wonderful. We have a new top team in the college football ranks, and that's Alabama. They moved up 1 to number 1 with 25 votes. Georgia's number 2. They dropped 1 with 28 votes. Now, the reason this one's 25, one's 28, because this is the AP poll. We're not using the coaches poll. The coaches poll would have Georgia as number 1. Ohio State, 10 votes. No
Georgia
change.
did
Michigan.
left. Georgia
Jeremy, if
did
you're gonna
struggle-
talk, you need to
struggle.
talk louder.
Yeah. Georgia did
Georgia
struggle
did
for sure.
struggle against. Yeah.
I think in the
Unlike
AP
team.
poll, I think they're behind Alabama by I think 12 points, so it's very tight. Michigan is 4 still, Clemson 5, USC is 6, Oklahoma State moved up 2 to 7, Tennessee no change at 8, Ole Miss moved up 5, big old points. I mean, numbers to number 9. Penn State moved up to 10, moving up 1. Penn State will not stay in the top 10. I do not think so. Kentucky was 8, I guess, maybe last week. Not 8, but 7, or maybe, yeah. And they lost, so they dropped to 13. North Carolina State dropped to 14. Georgia, the reason Georgia is number 2, because Jeremy just referred to this, they squeaked by Missouri, an unranked, I don't think they got any votes, team, 26-22. They were losing to the fourth quarter.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
I don't even know how Missouri pulled that off.
It was
but
one of
they
those.
did. Do what?
It was one of those weeks.
It was one of those weeks. It was stupid. And for the Sun Belt, whatever conference this is that me and Nate are now attached to,
Yep.
Raging Cajuns. That's his team. Raging Cajuns. They drop a close one, but they lose again to South Alabama. App State, and I'm only bringing up App State because of how they were doing so well last year and this year. They cruised to, I think, 49-0 victory over Troy, maybe, or no. I forgot who they played, but they crushed them. And Coastal Carolina stays undefeated. So those are the little stories there. Last week's games to watch that we all watched, or none of us watched, was Alabama beat Arkansas. Alabama was 2 last week. Beat Arkansas 20. No. Number 2 Alabama beat number 20 Arkansas 49-26.
Yes.
That was Chris's upset pick of the week.
Yes.
He was
Very wrong.
disgustingly wrong. Did you guys watch any of the college games at all?
I put it on and then I got really busy, and then the kids changed it on
Jeremy
me.
does to the podcast. Okay.
I did not catch any of the actual games. I caught a little bit towards later in the day, but I was busy all day with kids sports.
Yeah,
No, that makes
his
sense.
kids play like soccer like competitively now.
Just one of them.
Kicking pieces off.
Well,
Number 5
because-
Clemson.
Because the possible storm that was supposed to hit us, they delayed them all till later in the day. So while pregame stuff was going on, I could watch it, and then we had to go to soccer. From like, I think we were there from like 11 to 4 or 5.
Jeez,
Yeah,
that's
how
a-
much of that hurricane did you get your way? Any like rain or?
It was windy on Thursday, and then we had a little rain on Friday into Saturday. Not much.
And his brother and sister-in-law managed to escape out with just a little damage to their roof, I think it was, I saw.
Yeah, a little damage to the roof and a bunch of yard cleanup stuff.
That's not bad. We got nothing while I'm in Florida. I mean, it was bright and beautiful the day of, the day after.
So
It's been gorgeous for 4 days now.
the in-laws, people on their road lost roofs, yet their house was perfectly fine, and they had like little solar LED light things that weren't attached to anything that stayed on their
Wow.
just stayed on their upper deck thing. Made no
That's how
sense.
storms work though, isn't it? It's just amazing how it misses one, it hits the next one. Just
Well, and
can't
that's
tell.
the other thing. The in-laws have power, yet most of their park doesn't.
Oh. Okay. Number
Really
5
think I'm-
Clemson.
This was your upset of the
number-
week, right, Smitty?
What?
This was your upset of the week.
Yes, it was. Number 5 Clemson beat number 10 North Carolina State 30-20. I did pick that as an upset, but that's a little closer of an upset than the Alabama-Arkansas game, so I get a moral victory there over Chris.
Moral victory.
Ain't no moral victories in football. Number 7 Kentucky lost to number 14 Ole Miss, 14-7.
Literally the
number
same
9
as they are
Oklahoma
ranked.
But exactly. Oklahoma State beat Baylor. Oklahoma State's 9, Baylor's 16, and beat them 36-25 in a very good game, because we need to watch this here because Merlin is a FSU fanatic. It was not a pretty place to be around the fourth quarter, but Wake Forest, number 22, beat number 23 FSU 31-21. And a game last week that I thought was going to be an entertaining game, even though both teams are not that good, was Indiana versus Nebraska. It was an okay game. It wasn't nearly as entertaining as I thought it was going to be.
As you had
Nebraska
hoped.
did beat Indiana 35-21. So that was last week. Moving on to this coming up week. Games to watch. There's not really many because most of these are ranked opponents against unranked opponents, or teams versus unranked opponents, and they're not even like close to being ranked opponents. You know, this is like Ball State versus Alabama, something like that. But we have number 8 Tennessee versus number 25 LSU. Number 11 Utah versus number 18 UCLA. Now this game might be good. Number 17 TCU versus 19 Kansas. And I also put in Oklahoma versus Texas because that tends to be a good game usually.
Yep.
And I'm hoping Texas wins that. But the one, this was my upset pick for this week because it's Texas Tech, and it depends on what team comes out there because they could beat some really good teams this year. Texas Tech, unranked, is playing number 7 Oklahoma State. I'm picking Texas Tech to take that victory, even though they are playing in Oklahoma.
That should be interesting.
And that's pretty much all I got for college.
Yep, makes sense.
Chris.
He better be watching this even if he's standing at attention. It better be on his phone.
Should be on his phone and his headphones.
If you don't know anything about Chris, he doesn't watch or listen to any of these shows.
This is true.
This is true. He probably never do a show if he listened to himself.
All right, so Smitty, do you want to do a stupid stat, or you want to hold that off till next week when there's more of us?
We'll hold off on that for now.
All right.
I didn't put any, so.
All right. Well, this week we.
Oh wait, hold on. You want to hear a stupid stat I heard today?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the past 15 years, the last undefeated team has not won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Really?
Yes. There is a
Wow.
stupid stat for you.
That is a stupid stat. That's. Well, good. That means.
Because the last one to go undefeated, like
No,
at
not-
all,
not undefeated, no,
was the Pats. But
the last team that didn't, like the last undefeated of the season.
right.
So if you're the only undefeated team left in you don't win the Super Bowl in the past 15 years.
Yeah, that means the Eagles will not win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They're the only undefeated team there is right now. So.
Correct.
Sorry, Eagles. I'll just pack it up and go home. Just don't even try no more. Because the statistics are there. According to Jeremy, you have no chance.
Yep.
At least you haven't in the last
15 years straight hasn't happened.
Not since the undefeated,
weird.
the defeated undefeated season.
Well, no, they didn't win the Super Bowl that year either.
Exactly. that was the last time that's when the stats started. That would have been, what, 15 years ago now?
That's what he's saying.
No, that wasn't 15 years ago.
Well, that
It was
was
2007, wasn't it?
oh,
No.
yeah.
Was that? Yeah, that was
Yeah, it was
7.
seven, so
that
yeah,
was
we got-
15 years ago.
Yeah.
See, look.
So I guess
Pat-
16
Pat
years ago,
screwed up
where
for
was the last
everyone.
undefeated team?
Yeah, Pat screwed it up for everyone again.
Yep.
All right. Well, I've been hearing rumors, depending on which radio station and which news thing you read about. There's gonna be possibly some QB controversy. Since we've had some starters go
Mr.
down.
Jones wants some QB controversy for his team. Mr. Jones wants some QB controversy for his team.
Yes. Well,
He came out publicly and said it.
the first is the Dak Prescott Cooper Rush from the Cowboys, because since Rush has started, the Cowboys are 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Dak had lost that first game. So there you are. Depending on which news source and which person you talk to, they're saying that that Dak is their quarterback no matter what. But some other people saying no, Cooper Rush, we stick with the guy who's gonna be who's winning. And now we are more than likely up here stuck with Bailey Zappi. It's Zappi time.
For at least a month.
A month, really? Because is that what you're hearing? Because we're hearing constantly up here, it's day to day, week by week. Mac Jones is looking better, but he's still hobbling.
It's a high ankle sprain. That's at least 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what we. That's what.
That's why they were talking surgery, because normally if it's severe enough, if you have surgery, it heals quicker.
Yeah.
Right.
So if
it's you're probably at least 3 more weeks of Zappy time.
Especially since our other backup, who is 100 years old, went down with a concussion. So.
No, he was placed on IR.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Out
it was.
4 weeks.
So let me tell you something. For the first time I don't even know. I was cheering on the Pats. But Zappy was throwing his first, after the delay of game that was not called touchdown.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, because I thought he looked good out there. I was going for the Patriots to win this game. I was like, what am I doing? Stop doing that.
You're like, I slightly hate Patrick Mahomes more than I hate the Pats right now.
No, that was Aaron Rodgers. That wasn't
Aaron
Patrick
Rodgers.
Mahomes.
Well, yeah, that's even a better reason.
I think it was more the fact that if Bailey Zappi does well and he replaces Mac Jones, and Mac Jones has a worse career than Fields does at the end of 5.
I don't know. I think even if Mac Jones doesn't play the next 3.5 years, he might still have a better career stats than
Oh my God, there ain't no doubt. Oh, I don't even know what the heck's going on in Chicagoland.
So,
but anyways, Travis, go ahead.
All right. So, if you're the head coach, you now have a choice. You have quarterbacks you're paying a lot, or a second-year quarterback, compared to backups that are winning or are looking just as good as your starter has all season. Where would you go? Would you stick with the backup as long as they're winning, or would you go back to your starter that you paid a bunch of money for?
The issue is this isn't on the coach. The issue, this is on Mr. Jones, who is, even though he's the owner, he does not allow the people he hired to make those decisions. He's going to be the one.
He's yes man. That's why he gets his yes man.
So
and he loved Dak Prescott, so that's what he's going to do.
So unless there is some kind of reason, they're going back to Dak no matter what, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Do I sound better now?
A little bit, yeah.
You always sound great.
Well, actually hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit every time you're away from the mic. So,
all right, I'll try and work on that.
I believe that the Cowboys will go back to Dak, and I believe that Patrick can go back to Jones. As a coach, you have to think of a couple things. These backups on your team for a reason. You like them. You think they're good enough to lead your team. You have to give them, we call it trust that they are going to do what they're supposed to do. So, do you stay with them over an experienced player? The thing is with Bailey Zappa and Mac Jones. Mac Jones played, what, a year?
1 year.
Yeah.
How much more experienced is he than Bailey?
About, 17 plus 3,
games.
so about 20 games.
Yeah.
About 20 games. So, and by the time he comes back, he's only going to be about, 14
16,
games more.
16, 15.
Yeah. So, that's the question there is like, is he really that much more experienced? With Cooper and Dak, I don't think the question is even to be asked, because if this was the backup that's been played in for 10 years or 15 years, like Teddy Bridgewater for Miami, that question probably could be asked. But Dak is definitely a shoo-in. I think they're both shoo-ins, but I think there's a better chance that Bailey comes back in and replaces Jones than I do think Cooper Rush will replace Dak. But if I'm the coach, as the question's asked, I'm going with my big money guy. He signed a contract. You're going to make him play. You're going to make that money.
See, the thing is, what I see Dallas doing, I see them pulling him while he's hot, playing Dak, and then once getting close to the trade deadline, they're going to move him to someone.
That's smart.
That's what I'd do. Probably the Carolina Panthers, because they love to trade for quarterbacks.
They do.
And I don't know what happened to Baker Mayfield, but I think he just died on up his game.
He went to Carolina. He said, F this shit, I'm done.
I think was it Matt Rule? Was that his name? Rule?
Yeah.
Matt Rule?
Matt Rule's a horrible coach.
He might just be a terrible. Oh, I do have a stupid statistic I forgot.
All right.
I can't remember, was it Peterson, the head coach of Jacksonville?
Yep.
He's number 5 in the list of most wins for head coach at Jacksonville.
Yep.
He has tied. Yeah, and he's beaten Urban Meyer. Or tied Urban Meyer, so.
All right. So, we have one team left without a win, being the Texans, and as we had said before, and a few teams with only one. Do we believe that they are truly the worst team in the league, or just starting off slowly?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, the Texans are completely defeated. But I don't know if I'd say they're the worst team in the league. That's hard to
Because the games they've lost, most of their games that they've lost have been closer games.
Yes, and they've played good teams. They haven't played crap teams.
Right. And I'm trying to think of
I
other
would
teams
think
out there.
Carolina
Bears.
might be the worst team in the league. Carolina, the Bears aren't. Yeah, those two. I think Carolina and the Bears might be toss-ups for the worst team in the league right now.
So I don't think Texans are going off to a slow start. I don't think they're that good. I think they're not going to win that many games. But the worst team in the league, the worst team in the league could very well be a team that's 3-1 right now when they just haven't. They could be the Eagles. The Eagles haven't won against really good competition right now.
No, they played nobody.
Could be the.
They played Jacksonville, which is a pretty tough.
Could be the Dolphins. They're 3-1.
Could be the Dolphins. Could be the worst team. They only be the Ravens and the Bills, but we're not going to talk about that. So.
And cakewalks.
Yeah.
Yeah, cakewalks.
So something fun.
What do you think, Travis? Do you think they're just slow
Hill
starting?
was out of practice today.
What, Jeremy?
I said Tyreek Hill was out of practice today with a hamstring issue.
Yeah, we got injuries up and down the butt.
Oh, there goes your season.
Yeah, Waddle's out too, and so is our top corner.
And your QB that you don't like.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I like him better than Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
I think Bridgewater has a better arm, though.
Bridgewater has a stronger arm for sure. I don't know if that's called better.
Yeah.
That's always
well. When you're throwing all deep to Tyreek Hill, stronger is better.
It is, but can he hit Tyreek Hill? And the thing is, can he hit him, or will he out throw him or overthrow him or no? Okay, you're not going to overthrow Tyreek Hill.
No. It is very hard to overthrow Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you can't. But question is, can he get it where it needs to be in the window so Tyreek can catch it, or is he going to be off? That's the big question about him. His accuracy, I guess.
I think the Texans may just be starting off slow, but because they got a lot of young players right now.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
So
and they did just get a new coach, I believe, too, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, we got a new coach. I think this is the
they got a new coach.
We don't know much about Texans. We don't talk about them.
So
Texans. Why would?
Yes, but I wanted to know what you guys thought. If they were really the worst team, or if they're just starting off slow because they're a young team. They got a new coach, and sometimes it takes a month to really figure out everybody. Even though everybody's like, "Oh, the preseason this, preseason that." Preseason doesn't show you what a real game is like. All right, so this past Monday, we had a moron, animal rights activist, run onto the field with a pink smoke bomb at Levi Stadium on Monday. At the game between the Rams and the 49ers. He has filed a police report for assault by Rams player linebacker Bobby Wagner, who knocked him the fuck out, and defensive end Tyist McKinney, who tackled him to end his demonstration. He also told Fox News Digital that he was considering his options, including legal action against the players involved and the NFL. So, as we all know, we've all seen the streakers when they get on the field. They get tackled by anybody and everybody.
Naked, but what do I know? Go ahead.
But usually the NFL charges them with trespassing and stuff like that. Because once you're a fan, you've now given your rights away to be on that field completely. It basically says it on the tickets that if you touch your feet on that field and you don't belong there, you're gonna get hurt. Period. So there's been a bunch of guys coming out saying that this guy doesn't have a legal foot to stand on. But does he? Because he's going to file in California. Because we know they are like the most like you're not the victim, even though you did the criminal, you're not the criminal, you're the victim.
I'm gonna see, because I've seen things like not like this, but I'm gonna say he does have a leg to stand on. I think he was stupid for doing it. So when I do it in Miami, like I said, I'm just gonna jump over, get to the end zone, and then do some jumping jacks or whatever, and hit the ground really fast. Put my hands to the side or my hands over my head, and please don't run me over. Because I don't get beat up. But do we still have Jeremy? Because he's frozen on my end.
Yeah, he's frozen. I don't know what happened to him. I think something's going on with his internet.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
We can hear you, but you were your video's frozen.
You not talking is what the problem was.
Yeah, you're all pixelated. It's weird. Usually you have the better internet.
Because what's going to be said is yes, he knows what he did. He was doing this for his animal rights activist, and it's not the job of the football players to attack anyone on the field. That's not what they're supposed to do.
Well,
now,
I think the reason they did is
the players don't know what this guy's doing. He could be trying to hurt them. He could be trying to throw a smoke bomb at them. It could be COVID in that smoke. I don't know. They don't know that thing. But his argument's going to be, yes, the security should have tackled me. Fine. The players should not be tackling me because I didn't run to the players. I was running past the players. I didn't run towards them. They ran at me. They attacked me. I was not a threat to them. I was running past them, not to them. And that is what he's going to say. He should lose, but if he's smart and he really loves animals, he'd be like, okay, Bobby Wagner and McKinley, just $50,000 to save the animals. And we'll call it.
See, I'm thinking that the NFL is going to bring him up on charges first and bury him in legal fees before he even has a chance to file a countersuit. Well, because they're going to make sure that he is so broke he can't even afford a lawyer.
Yeah, but go ahead, Jeremy. I can tell you want to say something.
Okay, you guys can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm having some technical difficulties. So I think the issue is that people have tried this before. They've tried to sue the league over getting injured from being tackled. He's not claiming he has injury from it. He's claiming that he was tackled. Well, if you're on the field, there's nothing saying that those players weren't running out of the field and he got in their pathway. He was running towards their sideline.
He was.
So guess what? He turned as they were running out. So guess what? Well, they could have been running on the field for a play. You don't know. The issue is that when you buy a ticket to the game, it specifically says you are not allowed to touch the field.
That's what Travis said.
Yep.
Yeah. And the issue is that as soon as you touch that field, you are now pretty much a free target to be hit by anyone on that field. Mm-hmm. Security, players, or anyone else. Cameraman, whoever. Someone who's trying to stop you from interrupting the thing, especially if they're an employee of the NFL. It doesn't matter if they're employee of the stadium or whatnot. They're an employee of the NFL. Players, employee of the NFL. Guess what? They're doing what they need to stop this person who's where they're not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the player's contracts that say they can't do it.
And probably because he wasn't naked is the only reason why the players tackle him. If he was naked, they probably wouldn't have gotten tackled.
I don't think this is the first time Bobby Wagner has tackled a person that's been running on the field.
Nope.
But here's the thing. I'll make sure when I do it, it is definitely not against when Bobby Wagner's out there. So, like I said, I'm going to hit the field and hit the ground. Once I'm on the end zone, hit the ground.
So you have to do it during a Pats game then. I want to make sure it's televised.
You have to do it when Bobby Wagner's out there and see how long you can run from him and say, "I'm sorry, I quit."
I quit. Hit the ground. And put my hands behind my back. No, but no, he does claim injury because he got burned from his own device. It burned his ass.
That's his own fault.
I know.
I
know.
You got to remember, this is California. It's not, even though it's his fault. It's not his fault.
I still think that he'll find an attorney and they'll settle out of court. That's what's going to happen. They're going to settle out of court.
I think he's going to end up owing the NFL a boatload of money.
I mean, what are they going to?
I don't think he's going to be able to get. They're not going to. He's going to have to pay legal fees probably to them.
Oh yeah, lots. The NFL has some big boy lawyers with the big boy because of their big boy pockets.
Yeah, but you're right. It is California, and a lot of people there hate the sport of football. So you're going to find some plenty of attorneys that will take his case for free.
Yes, but the California just pushed big money to get the Rams into LA.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And they just pushed big money into that stadium So guess where that money comes from? The government. So guess what? Even if the judge thinks, oh, yeah, they shouldn't have done that, in the end, they're going to say, no, he was in a restricted area, and the players did what they needed to do to stop him from being
to
a
end
possible
the
threat.
situation.
They don't know what.
I know. They do it all the time. Right. But the 2 times I'm aware of any cases happened, both were settled out of court. So, I think that's what's going to happen here, if anything. See, if he was smart, he would hire psychologists and psychiatrists and say, it's the NFL's fault that I did this. Because they produced a product that made me so crazy to watch it. I had to be on the field. It was a compulsion. I needed to do it. It was their fault. They made me do this. They were calling to me. They wanted me to do this. I felt that. That's what he should argue.
It sounds like you've really thought this out on how you're going to not end up in jail for a year.
Well, I've actually looked up what happens to people that jump on the field. And typically they spend the night in jail and they're banned from the stadium. And there's $1,000 fine or something like that. That's typically what happens.
Well, that's not bad.
If they have a criminal record, then they could go to jail for a year. They can. I don't have a criminal record, but they might be like, hear this conversation to pull it up. Like, you were planning this. You knew it.
This was premeditated.
Yeah. So guess what, Mr. Smith? You're going to
This is years of planning.
Oh,
sorry.
I didn't do anything, and so the video showed me hit the ground. I just wanted to be on the field with the Dolphins. So
I just wanted to let my sack air out on the field.
Exactly. I have my Tucker Stuff podcast shirt on.
Hey, there you go.
Advertising
with the nipples cut out.
Yep, thick and thin on the back. Thick and thin sportscast on the back.
All right. Let's do.
There's something I want to discuss. I want your real opinion on this guy. We know, and we know that we know. Tua knocked out with a concussion. Because of the way it's been handled, they jumped on this and they're like, okay, we need to fix the protocol. And now they haven't passed it yet, but if you noticed, last week, I think it was 14 players were pulled during the games for a concussion protocol that wasn't part of concussion protocol, but they're being safe. The week prior, I think it was 4. And now they're talking about any kind of mobile instability is shown, then that person's going to be pulled
for the game.
Right. Now, I've seen running backs and quarterbacks 50 yards away from everyone running like crazy to the end zone and falling down because they outran themselves. That's motor instability. Do they technically going to have to be pulled because of the new rule?
No,
that's going to be.
That's called you don't have you don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to run.
Right, but it's still considered motor instability, and if it's black and white like that, is it going to be a fine line? Are they overreacting just a little bit to this?
So they're overreacting fully to this.
They're overreacting to the second to a concussion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he shouldn't have been playing in that game, and they probably did the right thing by firing.
Well, I want to get into that too.
The guy that cleared him. So, and now because it's been such a media thing, because the Miami Dolphins are doing so well, and so now it's become a much bigger thing, and everybody's doing the push to get rid of football for young children because, concussions and this, that, and the other thing. When, they're like, oh, kids below high school shouldn't be playing football. Well, if you don't start early, you're more likely to get a concussion when you get to high school because I hate to tell you, these kids, when they're 8 and 9 years old, they're not running like a 4.2 40. They're running a 9-second 40, a 10-second 40. Maybe you get lucky and you get like 1 or 2 players that will do an 8-second 40. And so, but you don't see the kind of speeds you see in high school where you got kids that are running a 5.1 40, a 4.9 40, and stuff like that. So they're not going to hit at this young of age. They're not hitting each other 100 miles an hour. The likelihood of them getting a concussion is not because of them getting hit; it's because they fell down in their face. Right,
and also your body does adapt. If you're used to getting hit, your body gets used to getting hit. It does. For 5-6 years, and all of a sudden you haven't got hit at all, and then you suddenly get hit when you're 11th grade. That's going to take a bigger toll than it would be if you've been doing this for 6 to 7 years.
Yeah, because your body gets used to getting bumped around. Because me and Jeremy was what? I was in 4th grade. You were what, in 3rd, 2nd when you started playing football, Jeremy? Apparently we lost him. But
we lost him. I'll come back on.
Yeah. So hello? Okay, anyhow. So I by the time I got to high school, I knew what I was doing, so I getting hit and whatnot wasn't a big deal. I knew how to take a hit. I knew how to deliver a hit so I wouldn't get hurt myself. I also knew how to make sure I would deliver a hit that I wouldn't hurt the other player to a point where they would end up in a hospital kind of thing. Where if you watch these kids especially at this age, the first thing they want to do to hit somebody is go head first. And so we teach that out of them from day one. It's like, no, you hit with your shoulders, you hit with your body, not with your head. Everything but your head can use to be hit to tackle somebody. And how to properly make that hit and actually how you should, if you're getting hit, how you should fall kind of thing. To basically tuck your head in, don't let it hit the ground kind of thing. We teach them that from the get-go. So that way we minimize the ability for the probability of getting a concussion.
Probability.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for.
So,
not probability.
But that's a good point, and I want to circle back to firing the what do you call them? The unbiased person.
So the unbiased person, I have a feeling, was a Miami Dolphins fan or from Miami, probably because
he's a sacrificial lamb.
Yes,
yeah, he is a sacrificial lamb. So the thing is, with that team neurologist, they don't have final say. The team doctor does.
Right. So
when it's all said and done, if the team doctor says, "Oh no, he doesn't have a concussion," the non-biased neurologist has no say in saying no, he has a concussion. He can't play.
But my point is that what I was going to say is this: if he got fired, how come the head doctor and the whole staff hasn't got fired? They said that Miami. The report came out saying Miami did a perfect job of the protocol. They followed everything even better than you're supposed to, and they gave Tua testing on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday before he played. So they fired this one guy to cover their butts. And he got fired for being not insubordinate, but for being a butthole during questioning, basically. That's why he was being fired, not because he did something wrong during the testing.
Well, I thought I saw something that they pretty much skated.
He didn't understand his role. He didn't understand his role as and he was being basically a butthole during the investigation. Those are the reasons they gave to fire him.
So basically, he gave him attitude, and they're like, "Nope, see you later."
They're like, "Perfect, you're the sacrificial lamb. You're gone."
Yeah, these guys are egos. They're like, "What? You tell me I don't know my job? Of course I know my job. Screw you." That's what he was saying, probably. But if he messed up, that means the team doctor messed up, and the rest of the people tested him because there's another unbiased person who was testing him up until Thursday. They also be getting fired too because everyone cleared him to play.
I think the biggest issue is if you're not technically in concussion protocol, your testing is a lot less.
That's probably true.
Stringent.
That's true.
Where I think the biggest issue was on that Sunday game when he went out right before halftime and then he came back second half. They're saying that point of testing was where all the flaws happened.
Okay, now here's my question for that. Do you think Tua would have got concussion on Thursday night if he didn't come back in? Do you think that slam, that whip back slam, which I think was an aggressive tackle, I don't think he meant to hurt him, but he did not need to whip him back that hard.
I think
he did. He was getting concussion, whether he's never had a concussion before in his life. He was getting concussed on that play.
Yes.
Yes, but if he was placed in concussion protocol from the previous week, he would never have been cleared to play by Thursday.
Yeah, he wouldn't have played at all.
Okay, then he plays against the Jets, and the Jets do it to him and slams his head the exact same way. He still gets that. My point is, Thursday night concussion, even if it was 100% cleared, he's getting concussed on Thursday.
Oh, definitely.
Conversation.
The issue came because everyone was questioning the previous Sundays. Oh, he was, because when you saw him get up, he was stumbling left and right.
Oh, absolutely, he was.
And part of the current one is something about gross motor movements.
Yes, that we're talking about.
Yeah. that's part of the current one. Mm-hmm. The current one specifies that if there's any immobility of gross motor movements, so if you stumble at all, if you can't walk,
you're pulled.
Yeah, you're pulled, and you're considered.
Before that, it was if the neurologist can say it was something else that caused it. If it was a different reasoning for it, then you can just go back and you don't have a concussion.
Yeah,
but now it's like even if you have that, even if it is a different reason, you're still be pulled.
Yeah.
Who was that one player that got concussed like twice in like 2 weeks and came back out each week? I think he plays for Eagles. No one's talking about him. He was knocked out.
Oh.
He was knocked out.
Oh yeah, because they had smelling salts on the sidelines. It was a lineman. There's an offensive lineman.
He got knocked out and he went back in the game.
But the issue was he wasn't on national TV, the only game going on, with his hands like this over his head. Yep. And if you listen to any of the specialists, when your body starts doing this, like weird things with your hands, like party.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
That's severe brain trauma. That's what they consider it as. And so they're
like
thinking, due to already having a concussion, the second concussion causes the severe brain trauma.
What I'm starting to think is that the first time, he might have had a concussion, but it was only a slight concussion. Because there are different ranges of concussions. You can have a slight concussion compared to like a major concussion. I think
I've had plenty of
first one
concussions.
I don't know. I'm not sure if he actually had a concussion on against the Bills.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that the first one, the one against the Bills, it might have been a slight concussion, but not enough for him to fail any of the tests.
Well, he might have had a concussion, but he might not.
But it was only like one of those.
You don't have to have a concussion on Bills game for him to have one on Thursday.
Oh no, but the severity of his body language from that second one would have never been.
Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't have been that much if that was his first one.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking is that it was only a slight concussion, but he not enough for him to fail any of the tests. But that second hit finally knocked him over the edge, kind of thing.
Right. My argument is this: the second hit was so severe that his medical history was irrelevant. That he didn't have a concussion on Sunday. Say he did not. Let's just say that they were right. He had no concussion.
Yep.
He just got one on Thursday really bad, and he had less of a hit on Monday than that one guy who got knocked out. You tell me he didn't have a concussion? He got knocked out and didn't have a concussion? That's impressive.
Sometimes it is impressive.
But
the league is they're gonna be dealing with a lot of shit.
So it'll be like the remember the year where they allowed replays of pass interference?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an overreaction for a little while, and then I think things are going to settle down again. But it's going to take a while for people to kind of get past it.
Which is why you're seeing so many players going out in concussion protocol, because first of all, it doesn't even have to be the non-team related person, on-call, neurologist, whatever they are. It doesn't have to be them. If the team doctor says, oh, no, he might have had a concussion, they're pulling him and they're not even letting him back in the game anymore.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they can say, yeah, they can play, and the coach like, nope, they can't.
No, the team doctors are afraid because they'll lose their job. They're like, hey, well, if I put him back in there and he possibly had one, I'll be next on the chopping block. It'll be my fault.
Right. What I'm saying is right now is the coach is the one who kept 2 out of this game. He cleared all protocols. And the coach like, nope, he ain't playing.
Yep, as the coach should. Well,
exactly.
That's the thing. Like J.J. Watt this past week, he had to get defibrillized to get his heartbeat back in rhythm, and they let him play.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Some of the players...
that wasn't done. If somebody would have seen him playing and he goes, oh, and he falls down and they rush out there and and he gets up and then he plays the next week, people are like, are you serious? They have a different protocol for that too.
Yeah,
you're right. It was national television. That's why it mattered.
Exactly. It was the only game on. It was nationally televised, and they kept going to it. Yep. Amazon did the NFL no favors by kept showing him laying down there like that with his hands all awkward. And Amazon needs to learn how to broadcast a football game.
Hey,
that's you don't. No matter how much we all want to see the injury, they can't be like harping on it.
What was that, Smitty?
I said, do you think it's like when people get hit and they're like, oh, well, he don't really have a concussion, but he kind of wobbled a little bit. He's probably fine, but he got to pull him out because of the Tua rule. You think it's going to be called the Tua rule?
I think it is.
Rule?
It might be referred to as the Tua rule.
You guys get to talk about the Tuck rule.
Yeah, the Tuck rule. It's like, no, it's called the Tua rule. Yeah, the Tuck rule is something awesome that happened and won the Super Bowl. The Tua rule is because it
won a playoff game. The Tuck was a playoff game.
Yeah, that's true.
In the snow.
Yeah, I wanted your opinion on that, guys, because I was watching all these videos. I'm like, I wonder what my boys think.
Okay, so full information. If I was, the thing is, everyone that I've heard nationally that keeps talking about it, saying that even these specialists, they don't have final say. So even if the specialist says no, he shouldn't go back in. If the team doctor says, oh no, he's fine, he goes back in if the coach puts him in. Where the person that needs to be fired is that team doctor.
Yeah.
Because it's his responsibility for every player on that field.
Yep.
And if you're going to fire one of the doctors, you got to fire the whole
team.
Well, you don't have. I mean, the fact is, if you have a head medical person, they're the one making the call.
Mm-hmm.
The coach isn't going to listen to any of the helpers. Nope. What does the main doctor say? So it's his ass that needs to be fired.
And the coaches have to be able to trust the doctors, the head doctors, neurologists, saying that he's fine. That you have to trust them. Mm-hmm. I was having an argument with someone on YouTube saying, he's like, no, any good coach will just keep him out. Like, that's what they do. And I was
job, the head coach's job is to control the game, and take information in from everybody that's in their staff. So the head coach is trusting that his head doctor is doing the correct thing and giving him the correct information, so he can make an informed decision as to say, hey, he's fine, he's good to go. All right, well, then he's going back in because he's our best chance to win.
Right.
That is his job.
I told him, I was like, so you're telling me that when there's something wrong with your vehicle, it's making a funny noise, it's sputtering, and something's wrong, you take it to your mechanic, he fixes it and tells you it's in perfect working order, and you say, no, I don't believe you, I'm taking an Uber home? No, you trust your mechanic because that's who fixed it. You got to trust him, and that's what this coach was doing. So I just...
Yeah, he was doing his job of trusting his employees, that they have built up trust, so he was doing what he was supposed to do. Listen to their information, say, he looks fine to me. If you guys say he's good to go, then he's good to go.
Yeah, but the thing I've heard about the talks of how they're going to restructure it is that they're going to remove the overrule power by the head doctor, that the coach, the team's doctor, which shouldn't be there in general. Because guess what? Even though he's supposed to be a doctor, he works for the team.
His job is to get the guys back on the field.
He's not that bad. He can go back and play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also does. His job should be to protect the players from themselves. Because I don't know about you, I've gotten my brain rattled before, and I said I'm good to go back in. And
definitely have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a sports player and you want to play, you don't care how injured you are, how hurt you are, what happened. Nope, I'm good. Get me in there.
I will deal with it at a later time.
Exactly.
I got ran over by Emmitt Smith. I told you this already. And the coach was
like, up at least once a month.
Yeah.
He's like, and the Coach Favre was like, get up, get out, come on. And I did not want to play anymore.
Well, that's because you're a big baby, Smitty, but that's besides the point.
I probably got 4 concussions on that hit. So.
All at once.
Tua?
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to do this sport. It sucks.
Yeah. See, if you've been playing the sport forever and you are completely addicted to it, it doesn't matter how hurt, how injured, no matter what, you're going to drag your ass off the turf and you're going to get back out there and play. I mean, there's been times where the coach pulled me out and the person they put in missed the play. And I said, I'm going back in. And the coach just goes, oh, whatever.
Yup.
They know.
Heck, in high school, I was taking 3 800-milligram ibuprofen before football games. Because, I had pains and I was just like, doesn't matter. Once I take those, I don't feel them. I can play a full game.
It was like my last game of my senior year, I had a horrible ankle sprain.
Yeah, you did.
The previous week. I mean, I couldn't put weight on it for 3-4 days. Couldn't even put weight on it at all. I played.
Didn't I give you my ibuprofen?
I played about 90% of the game. One play I got hit weird, and it just, the whole thing, shooting pain throughout all of it. I was up for one play, and the quarterback got sacked or something, and they had just pulled the tape off, and I just threw my cleat back on, tied it tight, and went back out there.
Mm-hmm.
There was no stopping me.
Yep.
I couldn't walk off the field after the game, but I was not being pulled off the field by the coaches. No matter what they said, I was going back out there.
Senior year, last game. Hell yeah. You stay out there till your brain's coming out your nose. Hell yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, think about it. These players are making millions of dollars to play a game. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure that their stock stays high so they can get their next contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
All right. So let's do the top. Want to do top 15?
Yeah, just do top 15.
All right, Smitty, you want to read them, or Journey, you want to read them?
Okay, we will go at number 15, the Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, they jumped quickly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14, the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 13, them boys, Dallas Cowboys. Number 12, the Tennessee Titans. Number 11, the Los Angeles Rams. Number 10, Smitty's Miami Dolphins. Number 9.
When was the last time they were in the top 10, Smitty? It's been a long while, right?
They've been in the top 10 since the beginning of this thing, and then all of a sudden they dropped freaking 7 spots.
Why they dropped so far off from loss?
Probably because they lost to Cincinnati and they lost their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Cincinnati's not a bad team. They're just starting slow. Number 9, the Minnesota Vikings. Number 8, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They should not be that high. Number 7, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 6, the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 5, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 4, Nate's Green Bay Packers. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. And number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles are well overrated for this list.
Yes, but they're undefeated. That's why they're going to be the top team.
But this is they need to take in the reality. They've beaten a bunch of teams that are at the, let's see, in the top between 20 and 30. 32.
The best team they played was Minnesota.
What was that?
It's the best team they played was Minnesota.
Yes.
And
it was in prime time, so Kirk Cousins was garbage.
Yep. And the only reason I think Tampa Bay is so high is because they have Brady. That's the only reason.
Oh, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries too.
Mm-hmm.
But can you believe the 49ers are 5? Do you think they're the 5th best team in the NFL? The 49ers?
You know why? It's because Jimmy G is back in charge on that offense. That's the only reason they jumped that high.
Well, no, it's because of what they did to the Super Bowl champ Rams on Monday Night Football.
Monday night, yeah, they did.
If you're in a primetime game against a good team and you shit on them, you're going to jump a lot of spots in the NFL power ranking.
Mm-hmm. See, the Rams got beat. See, I mean, the thing is, they're using, not you, but people for this power ranking are using games like, well, they beat the Rams, they beat the Bills, they beat the Chiefs. It's like, yeah, but so did this team, and this team sucks. You know, it's like, is the Ravens really as good as we thought? Because they lost to the Dolphins and they lost to the Bills.
No, the Ravens aren't as good as people thought.
Nope.
Right. It's Tampa Bay as good as they think. They lost 2 games against teams they probably should have beat. I mean, the Bengals really that bad? Well, they deserve to be at 10 when they were at 10. I think they probably should have been maybe 6 back then. But, you know, I don't know. I think maybe the Bills are still the best team in the NFL.
I think you need to turn your mic up a little bit, Smitty. Just the knob down the bottom of your board. Right underneath your mic.
It's never need to be up before. I'm never touching. I'm just far away.
He's fading back as he talks. But I agree.
Sorry.
There's some teams in the top that need to drop a lot. And then, I mean, Tampa Bay's only there because Brady's still there, and they have a lot of weapons that have been injured. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason they're so high. The Ravens, it's because Lamar Jackson. He's a big-name player. They want to keep him in the spotlight.
Yep. All right. So let's get to our fantasy team.
Nope, I don't like my fantasy team.
Jeremy is slowly going from hero to zero.
I want the ball sack. I want the Sacco Trophy this year.
So this week, the Thick played the implications. I won 158-26 to 106-76.
I should have played you this week.
Ladies and Edelmans, beat Lieutenant Dan's Magic Legs 225-44 to 169.4. She now is in first place because of that, and I was last week. Bunch of Nobodies beat Isn't It Breakfast 237.84
I'm trying to help you out there.
to 163.05. No. It's breakfast from now on.
Remember, we had this discussion
it's either going to be breakfast or a variant of.
I like breakfast. I forgot. We did talk about it last week, yeah.
To 163.05. Purple Cobras beat the Dolphins 235.51 to 191.15. Are you wholesaling everybody yet?
Beat was the thick.
Exactly. That's why I should have paid them. I'd have beat all the losers, though.
2 girlies, 1 cup beat the Muppets 210.3 to 154.5. This week.
The most painful thing about this is not painful, but last year I traded away everyone to get all these top picks. I have 5 picks in the top 20, and I can't get above 190 points.
Yeah.
What?
And I traded away and had more picks in the later rounds, and 1 week I scored 300 points.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm not doing that ever again.
And the worst part is I would have been well over 200 points if I hadn't benched a couple of my running backs that were on my bench.
Well, I'm telling you both now, especially you, Travis, because I know Jeremy don't care. But if I lose next week or this week, I'm going to do another fire sale. I already did one fire sale, and Nate jumped on that. So
of course you
can
did.
jump on the next fire sale.
Okay.
So you pick a player I have on my team you want, trade me whoever you want, and we'll do. You know, I gave him Harris. I think it was Harris, the running back. He gave me Penny. Yeah. Rashad Penny. And I'm like, he goes, that's a fair trade. I go, it's not a fair trade. Are you crazy? And of course, Penny blew up this last Sunday, and I didn't start him. But he tried to make me believe it was a fair trade. It's like, it's not a fair trade. I'm okay with that. You could have gave me the worst player on your team, and that was a trade. That's a fire sale. And he still lost.
I got a couple ideas. All right, so this week, the number 1 Ladies and Edelman's is playing number 3, the Bunch of Nobodies. The number 2, The Thick, is playing number 10, Lieutenant Dan's Magic Legs. Number 4, Purple Cobras, is playing number 6, Isn't It Breakfast. And number 5, The Implication, is playing number 9, The Muppets. Number 8, The Dolphins, is playing 2 girlies, 1 cup.
I'm number 7. I'm not number 10.
Yeah, I think I might have forgot to change that. So number 7, there you go.
Because I was going to say, I thought I was above Smitty because he's 8. Yeah.
Yes. So, I forgot to update. So, bets this week. That was last week. So, you didn't get us bets this week yet, Jeremy?
No, I have not. I've been trying to look, but then the internet stopped working. I
noticed where you just kind of dropped out.
Extender. So, for some reason, I was connected to my extender, not my regular internet, which I'm.
Another reason why you need to get the other stuff.
You like your extender, don't you?
Well, no, the extender's in the other room to help with the doorbell and whatnot. But no, I'm literally less than 10 feet from my router right now.
Yeah, because where he's sitting on his couch in the living room, the router is on the other side of the wall, and the.
No, I'm in the secondary living room.
Oh, okay. You're in the back living room.
So it's literally right there. I can see it.
Yeah.
There's a TV covering most of it, but it's there.
You just want to skip to our picks and then come back and do the bets, or what do you want to do?
No, we can do them live as we go through. So let's take a look. Okay, let's see. Ooh, ouch! The Bills are 14.5 favors over the Steelers.
Oh! Can I take Steelers on the points?
I don't know if I would. Pickett's starting this week. He threw 3 picks last week.
Why is it saying my thing?
Tampa's 10-point favorite over Atlanta. Well, it is Atlanta versus Brady.
Oh.
Can I take Miami -3 over the Jets?
Picking the Jets?
No, I'm picking Miami. They're going to win by 3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. This is what, 9? This is 10, whatever.
Today's the 6th of August. Wait,
October.
Yes, October. So as he types, he's typing Dolphins -3 over Jets. I think the Dolphins are better than the Jets by at least 3 points, even with the backup quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is not a bad quarterback at all.
No, he's not. Minnesota -7.5 over the Bears.
Oh God, that's tough.
That's a tough line.
Yeah. What else do we have?
Ooh, Chargers -2 over the Browns.
Yes. I like that one.
What
Taking
is?
the Chargers.
Why is it saying
Absolutely.
my password is not? I just reset.
I got this one.
Login.
Lions. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Who are they playing?
All right, here we go.
Oh, the thing is, Lions have no defense.
Yes,
Oh
but
God.
his offense keep up with them.
Oh,
point.
we
You're
lost.
right.
We lost both of our bets, and then got a push on the Bills.
Well, if
So
we
you
would
tell me
have
the
taken
Pats,
the
the Pats
Tampa
are
one,
line of favorite to beat the Pats? Interesting.
Yes,
if
Tampa.
we would have taken the Tampa one that I told you
I know.
that you were the only one against, we would have had that thing in the first 3 plays and never lost that one.
Oh, absolutely. We're taking the Titans on that one.
So these are the absolutes so far. Where's my?
Yeah. I think we're good. I think
right.
Titans are the comments.
So this week, your bets are: so we lost. Was a push for the Bills over the Ravens because they only won by 3. The Texans, we lost over the Chargers because they scored way more points than we thought they were going to.
Pick the Texans.
Yeah, we took the Texans with the points.
Because they'd been close on all their games till this past week, and the Chargers have been sucking.
Yep.
Seahawks +5.5.
And then the 49ers had to go out and win.
Yeah, that was terrible.
By a lot.
The Rams. It was at LA too, it was at Candlestick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was at Candlestick, but still, I mean, they're just right down the road. What, 3
Yeah,
hours
basically
away?
it's a home game for both of them.
Yeah, but those teams never play good against each other on the road. I thought it was in
And they
LA.
hate each other. You know,
All right, so this week what do you so your the Dolphins.
So we're still looking. We're group doing this right now.
Giving up 3 to the
Pats or
Jets.
Lions, who we picking? Are we picking the Pats or the Lions on that one?
We're picking the Lions by 3.5 over. So they'd have to lose by more than 3 points. That more than 3.5 points.
I think both those. I think those are just about as easy. I think I have more faith in the Dolphins beating the Jets by more than 3 than I do have the Lions beating the Pats by 3.5.
Yeah. Well, the Pats losing by less than 3.5.
No, the Pats would have to win by over 3. By over 3.5. That's plus 3.5.
So the Lions have to, if they win or if they only lose by a field goal.
By field goal.
Hey, let's go with the Lions bet. Let's go with the Lions over
Yeah.
the Pats. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm still on the 1:00 games here, guys.
Well, there's a lot of 1:00 games this week.
I know. So the Titans, okay. Saints are 5.5 over the Seahawks. That's gonna be hit or miss because Andy Dalton's playing.
The Saints have been crap.
Yeah, but the Seahawks are hit or miss.
Yeah. 49ers are giving up 6.5 to Carolina.
You know, I almost want to go with the Seahawks for 5.5. That's a good. I feel like the Seahawks might beat the Saints, but they've been traveling a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely picking the Seahawks to beat the Saints. Huh?
The Seahawks are going to beat the Saints.
The Cowboys are also getting 5.5 at the Rams.
I would not take that bet.
The Eagles are giving 5 points to the Cardinals.
Yeah, they're favored by 5. I'm saying if we take the Seahawks, they'd have to lose by more than 5.5 points over the Saints.
They'd have to lose by a touchdown.
Yeah. They have to lose by 6 or more. So there's that option.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens are favored over the Bengals by 3.
I wouldn't trust that at all. I wouldn't trust any bet. I wouldn't bet that no matter because
No, those two
Cincinnati's
teams.
going up, Ravens going down.
And that's a prime time game.
Yeah, that's Sunday.
The
And then
Monday night game, the
Chiefs are favored by 7 over the Raiders.
That actually
no.
that might not be bad. That's a prime time game again.
and it's the Raiders. It's a conference game or whatever we call it. And
Conference games you don't usually go for too often.
Right, and not to mention Raiders actually got the taste of how to win and run. And Kansas City has been winning, but they haven't been winning convincingly.
Right.
Oh, were they won convincingly on Sunday night?
They did.
Well, they only won by like 11.
10, I think.
All right, so I actually kind of like the Lions over the Pats because I don't believe the Pats are going to win that game.
Either that or the Seahawks game. The Seahawks game, the Lions game, or all these guesses here are these.
I think the Dolphins to beat the Jets by more than 3 are well. Who you got Bridgewater, right?
Bridgewater, yeah.
We do, and we don't know if our 2 wide receivers are going to be playing or not.
Yeah, that's my only worry about that one.
Yeah, that might not be a good bet.
No.
Chargers over the Browns, yep. Titans over the Commies, yep.
So I mean, the Seahawks are giving up, or could lose by 5 points, and we'd still take that one.
Right, if they lost by a field goal and we still win. Yeah, I'll agree with the Seahawks. Saints.
I'm good with either one.
Yeah,
the Seahawks game and the Lions game.
All right, you guys make the decision. Those are my 5 for this week.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger.
I know you don't want to go against
if
your Pats,
hollers,
so
let
let's
him
go ahead and just do the Seahawks.
Oh, I bet against them a lot, actually, Smitty, if you look at my record.
According to Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, the Seahawks game.
Don't do it, so...
Yeah, I don't care about that. I care about money.
According to Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, we're going with the Seahawks game.
Like that.
Why don't we ask Chris and Nate just make a decision which are the 2?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so I'll make those bets either tomorrow night or Saturday during the day before I head out to Ocam, because apparently our aunt and uncle are coming up from New Orleans, Jerry.
Oh, okay.
So let's make some picks before we are here all night.
Okay.
Well, we're still sitting at a 6. We're now sitting at a 6-6 tie and a lot of punts tonight.
Yes. All right, so let's go over last week. Last week we had on Thursday the Miami Dolphins at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals beat them 27-15. The Minnesota Vikings went to the New Orleans Saints. Well, Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints went all the way to England for a 9:30 in the morning game, and the Vikings were able to hold on to a 28-25 win. The Seattle Seahawks went to Detroit.
That was the best game of the weekend, by the way.
That was a good game. No, there was another good game like that.
The Seattle game, from what I was able to hear, because I did have a football game going on, the Seattle game at Detroit was what Seahawks won 48-45. The New York Jets went to Pittsburgh and won 24-20.
So that's the first time in team history they didn't punt in a game.
Who?
The Seahawks.
Really?
Yep.
The Chicago Bears went to the Giants and lost 20-12. The Tennessee Titans went to Indianapolis and won 24-14. The Los Angeles Chargers went down to Houston and won 34-24. The Cleveland Browns went to Atlanta and lost 23-20.
They pulled a duo. They went.
The Washington Commies went to Dallas and lost 25-10. The Jacksonville Jaguars went to Philly and Philly won 29-21 to make them the only undefeated team in the league.
That was a really good game too. At least the first half was. I mean, I thought Jacksonville was going to pull that out.
The Buffalo Bills went to Baltimore and won. It was before overtime, all because Baltimore did not kick a field goal. 23-20. The Arizona Cardinals went to the Carolina Panthers and beat them 26-16.
If they kick a field goal, Buffalo goes down, scores a touchdown, we win that bet.
Yep. The Denver Broncos went to the Las Vegas Raiders and lost 32-23. New England Patriots played the Green Bay Packers up in Green Bay and in overtime lost 27-24. The Kansas City
bets might be better than we think.
Green Bay has a problem with play. They play to their opponent. They don't play to their standards a lot.
And Rodgers looked like he had no idea what he was doing. He
was throwing it to ghosts.
Exactly what he was doing. It's like Oh, that's not Adams. Adams would have caught that over there. I would have thrown it in that direction. He'd have grabbed it.
Yep. The Kansas City Chiefs went to Tampa Bay and won 41-31. And really, this score, I'm surprised it wasn't much further apart. The end of the third, where I think I fell asleep, it was a much wider game. The Los Angeles Rams went to San Francisco, and the 49ers beat them 24-9. Our winner this week was Gail. Jeremy. You picked 12 correct. Gail was right behind you with 11. All right, we are now on to week 5.
Good.
We hardly ever get anybody with 12 right. That's impressive.
Yeah, so I did get some messages, and we got some messages I need to fill in for tonight's game. So Amanda went with the Broncos.
You can always fill them in later.
Well, we're gonna be picking these games anyways. I went with the Broncos. I know Gail went with the Broncos.
Smitty went with the Broncos.
Smitty went with
the Broncos. Mo went with the Colts.
Didn't Nate go with the Colts?
I believe so.
So Nate went with the Colts.
Oh, he put in the other chat.
Mo went with who?
Colts. Yeah, Nate went with the Colts.
You with the Broncos. I think Chris went with the Broncos also. No, it's the same chat.
No, Chris went with the Colts.
He went with the Colts. He followed Nate.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought he went with the Colts.
All right.
I don't know why they put their picks in the Muppet Show instead of the instead of the thick and thin.
As long as it's not in the fantasy, usually I can find them. All right, so I got the first pick. Again, the New York Giants and the Green Bay Packers are going back to England. And I'm going to go with... That's a long trip for the Packers. I'm going to go with the Giants. Jeremy, who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with the Packers. I still don't know who the Giants quarterback is going to be this week.
Smitty, who are you going to go with?
I'm going with the Giants.
Going with the Giants. Nate didn't give us a full pick list, so we won't worry about that.
I got no full pick list for Maureen either, so I'll get you them.
And I'll have Gail's probably later this week.
All right, so it's just the three of us. This will be a quick one.
Yep, the Detroit Lions are at New England, Jeremy.
Taking the Lions.
Taking the Lions. Smitty.
Rawr, says rawr.
You know what? I'm going to give Zappy the benefit of the doubt and say he might be better than we think, and defense is going to play harder. I'm going to go with the Pats this week.
Out.
Smitty, the Los Angeles Chargers are at the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, Chargers.
They're coming off a bad loss, right? They lost last week.
They threw a pick to end the game, pretty much.
No, they won. Chargers won against Houston. So
Chargers won big against Houston.
That was lost, right?
I am going to go with the Chargers. Jeremy.
Chargers.
All right, back to me.
Week 5.
Texans are at Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with the Jags. Jeremy.
Jags.
Smitty.
Meow.
Sounds like a cat. All right. Jeremy. The Atlanta Falcons are at Tampa Bay. They've lost 2 so far. Do you think they have a third loss? Taking Tampa Bay. Smitty.
Well, with Tom Brady worrying about losing his wife forever, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay because he don't care. He's married to the NFL.
He is not going to let the Falcons beat him no matter what, so I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. All right, Smitty, your pick. Pittsburgh Steelers are at Buffalo.
You can just do Bills across the board on this one.
Right?
Yep.
All right. That is an easy pick for all of us. The Miami Dolphins are at the New York Jets. I am going to go with... Ooh. You got Bridgewater.
do. We don't know if our two right receivers are playing and our.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the man who dates Steph-Le's mom. I'm gonna go with the Jets. Jeremy.
Not a bad pick.
I'm going with what Will Smith said.
You head into Miami?
Keep my goddamn wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
That's what Brady said to what's his name?
Yeah.
Smitty. You gonna pick the Miami or you gonna go with the Jets?
What did Will Smith say?
It got blocked, really?
What did Will Smith say?
Welcome to Miami.
Oh, yes, I'm going with the Dolphins. I'm always going with the Dolphins.
All right, Jeremy.
I went old school on that one for you, Smitty.
Yeah, that is old school. The Chicago Bears are at the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota. Smitty?
I want Chicago to do better because of my stupid $1,000 bet, but I'm going to go with Minnesota.
Smitty, I told you I'm not holding you to that.
I know you're not, but I'm going to honor my bet, just like I'm honoring my tattoo bet with Nate.
I say we double it or nothing.
No, it'll take 10 to 15 years.
I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings also.
Travis, why are you showing the game right now on the... Oh, never mind.
No, I'm not.
At one point, the game was up there, apparently.
No. Hi, Amanda. All right. The game has never been up.
I was over the thing at one point. The game had popped up.
No, it was. If anything, it was. No, I don't know.
It wasn't there for long.
I don't know how it would have been, but anyhow, the Tennessee Titans are at the Commies.
I like the Commies so much, and I think one of the reasons they're not winning is because they're not a good team and they have wins. But they're also missing that really big piece on the defense on the end. What's his name? Young.
I think so.
Him. But I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Going with the Titans. Ooh.
Absolutely. King Henry has got his crown back, and he.
I am also going with the Titans. How about you, Jeremy?
Sweep it across the board.
Sweeping it. All right, back to me. The Seattle Seahawks are at the New Orleans Saints. Saints are sucking like they used to, so I'm going back with the Seahawks. Jeremy.
In Geno Smith, I trust.
Geno Smith. Smitty.
Geno.
It's words we've never thought we'd ever.
I'm telling you, they're playing like they were when they had a crappy line, had a great quarterback. They couldn't win. They got rid of the quarterback. They got the same crappy line, and now they're doing good things because they're learning to run, play defense. It blows my mind.
All right, Jeremy. The San Francisco 49ers are at the Carolina Panthers. Nate, you got me a reverb.
You did. You reverbed it, Nate.
Yeah, my bad. I was watching the feed. Jeremy told me to come on and make my picks.
All right, so Jeremy, you got to make yours first. The San Francisco 49ers.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G all the way. Smitty.
So,
who is it?
Niners at Panthers.
You got Jimmy G against the Carolina Panthers.
Like we talked about earlier, we think that Carolina might be the worst team in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Jimmy G and the Carolina San Francisco.
You all think Carolina's the worst team in the NFL?
They're up there.
They're up there.
Yeah.
All right, Nate. So while we got you're going to fill in all yours. So
yeah, that's cool.
Sunday morning at 9:30 in the morning, Packers Giants.
Packers.
Next at the 1 o'clock game, the Lions are at the Patriots.
Patriots.
Really?
Yeah.
Chargers at Browns.
Chargers.
Texans at Jaguars.
Texans.
The
That's
Atlanta
a stupid pick. You're stupid. Dumb pick.
The Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Steelers at Buffalo Bills.
Bills.
Miami at Jets.
Miami.
Hey, if you'd have picked the Jets, you wouldn't have been the only one.
Bears Vikings.
Bears. Oh, hang on. Vikings. I'm sorry. This is the time I want the Bears to win.
Titans at the Commies.
Commanders.
The
Stupid.
Seahawks at the Saints.
Saints.
Wow, Matt Ryan really should have retired.
Yep.
He just threw another pick.
Yep.
Receiver's fault.
Saints. Okay, so Jimmy
Oh, no,
G
that's
at
not
the
the pick.
Panthers.
The Niners. I like
Alright.
Mayfield and all, but Garoppolo has something really to prove.
And I am also going with the San Francisco 49ers. All right, we are at Smitty.
Yes.
Philadelphia Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, Lord. You know what? The Cardinals are not good.
Nope.
They're playing, and the Eagles are playing well. They got great defense, but I think they're overrated. So between the Cardinals and the Eagles, Paka!
They're both
Don't figure out
birds, so
what
that
that
doesn't
is.
tell me.
I think Cardinals make like a tweet sound, but I'm also pretty sure a newer Call of Duty came out, so that's probably why somebody isn't.
I am actually going with the Cardinals.
Going with the Cardinals. All right. Nate, who are you going to go with?
Fly, Eagles, fly through the path of victory. Fly, fight.
Hit on that one.
Ugh.
Hi, everybody.
Hold on. Did the new Call of Duty actually come out?
I think so.
The beta version came out, so everyone's been playing the beta stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going with the Eagles. Jeremy, who are you going to go with?
Ditto, fly, eagle, fly.
All right.
Sometime.
Back to me. The Dallas Cowboys are at the Rams. They're still playing their backup. The Rams are not looking very good right now. You know what? I'm going to go with them boys. Jeremy, who are you going to go with?
This one's hard.
It is.
You know, I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Rush. Rush for the win.
Rush for the win. So, them boys.
Rush.
Smitty.
I heard Thrush as well.
And Thrush, we rush and trust.
In
I'm
Thrush
going
you
with
trust?
I'm going with them boys. I gotta go with them boys until Rush is not longer playing or they lose.
Nate, who are you going to go with?
I'm going with Aikman's team, too.
He hates that team. Have you listened to him announce during that team?
He
during
does.
Those games? I swear to God, he hates the Cowboys. The way he talks about it.
The Cincinnati Bengals is the 8:20 at night game are going against the Baltimore Ravens. So Jeremy, you got the first pick.
Oh, what game are we talking about?
Cincinnati, the
Bengals,
Sunday night
Ravens.
game, the Bengals at the Ravens.
Bengals.
The Bengals. Smitty.
This is mostly because I want a tiebreaker for Miami, and Miami beat the Bengals. Beat Ravens and lost the Bengals, so I need the Bengals to lose to the Ravens. So Ravens.
Ravens.
I
Nate.
can follow your logic. I went with the Bengals because they learned how to win.
I am also going to trust the Bengals to actually do the right thing. All right. Smitty, you get the last pick.
Has 17 points.
The Las Vegas Raiders are at the Kansas City Chiefs.
See, I don't like this. I don't like this at all because it's
a tough game to pick.
It's Kansas City. It's Kansas City. I don't like saying their name. How do I do an imitation of a chief? I can't go. That's to be racist, right?
No,
so I can't do that.
over there.
Okay, you over there.
Yeah, or act like Chris.
I just say I'm doing Chris. I'm being Chris. I'm going with Chris. That means Chiefs. I like that.
All right, Nate, who are you going to go with?
Chris was in the corner.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Going with the Chiefs. I think that Kansas City has something to prove now because they lost one game, so I'm also going to go with the Chiefs. Jeremy?
Sweep it.
I just think the Chiefs are a better team than the Raiders. They suck.
They've lost a bunch of close games that they shouldn't have
Ever
lost.
since they added Adams, they started sucking. I don't know what happened.
It's all Adams' fault. They should have
Ever
left
since
him up.
Green Bay
Green Bay.
lost Adams, they've been really looking mediocre.
They've looked mediocre there, and ever since I've liked them.
True.
I don't know how they've won 2 Super Bowls. They're not great, but they managed to survive.
Because they've had 2 elite quarterbacks over the past 30 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of elite wide receivers, too.
Yes.
A handful, at least. All right.
That's all you need.
Saving that. All right. So I think we are done. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or are you guys good?
I'm good.
I just came here to make some picks. So.
Make some picks.
I do
And to
have a
brush your
question
beard.
before we get off.
Uh-oh.
You know what? This can wait till next week.
No,
It's
no.
not
Just
needed.
say it. Just say it.
Okay, well, it might be a long conversation. Okay, people talk about the comebacks, right?
Yep.
It's a comeback. If you're losing 3-0 in 2 minutes in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, the other team wins on a touchdown. Is that a comeback victory?
No.
No.
What is considered a comeback victory? Is that 2 scores?
I
or
think you have to
more,
be down by
1 quarter
2
less?
scores.
I hate to give an example of this, but the
Yes.
Patriots and Falcons I would consider a comeback.
28-3.
Yeah, I would say that would consider.
I'd
That's a
say
Okay,
sizable-
where were they in the game? Fourth quarter?
That was the end of the
late
third quarter. There were 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, I think it was.
It was like I think it was like 4 minutes going to the third quarter.
Or if you need something more recent, whatever Miami did a couple
Right.
weeks ago.
No, I
That
think those are.
would also-
I'm just saying.
I think
The reason I brought it up
I
is because of the Bills.
I think the NFL analysts consider 12 points. They had to be down by more than 12 points.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because of they talking about how Bills had a comeback victory against the Ravens. The Bills were losing by I think 13 points in the second half. I don't consider that a comeback.
I think they consider if at any point in the game if you're losing by 2 scores.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. If it's a 2-score difference,
They
I
were
would say-
down by they were down 23-3 going into
the
halftime.
Packers are losing 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, and they win the game 17-14. That's a comeback victory.
I think they have to go through the first half.
Yeah, I think if you're losing by 2 scores or more after halftime.
Yeah.
I would say
Colts
loosely.
just punt with 2 minutes to go in the game. Oh, the Colts.
Isn't it the third quarter?
No, it's fourth quarter.
It's fourth quarter.
But also, don't they consider a comeback victory also when
no,
let's
it's
say
the third quarter, Jeremy.
let's say the Patriots are losing.
It's the third quarter,
21
Jeremy.
Is it only the third quarter?
20.
Yeah.
I thought I saw fourth.
Let's say the Patriots are losing 21-23.
Oh, it is.
Say the Patriots losing 21-23. There's 3 minutes left in the game. They get the ball. They come back. They kick a field goal. They call that a comeback victory.
No, that's
They only
considered a
got the two.
game-winning drive.
Yeah, that's a game-winning drive. That's not.
They also use the words comeback.
No,
Yeah, that's because the announcer's horrible.
If the announcer used that, then they're idiots.
Well, no, because they say comeback and it gets more attention. That's why they use that verbiage.
Because they used it a lot last week, and I'm like, those aren't comebacks when you're only losing by,
I
13
think you
points.
have to
There's
go
2
down. You have to go into halftime down by 2 scores. Most NFL analysts will use 12 points as the minimum of a comeback. But they have to be down by 2 scores at halftime, and usually
I don't think there's a rule for it. I just hate the fact that
no,
use that
but
with the Bills.
but it's all depends on most of them.
Okay.
This is how they look at it.
Wait, maybe.
I say they have to be down by 12 points
It's
or
like
more.
one of those baseball unwritten rules.
Yes.
Well, according to Google, a comeback is a return by a well-known person, especially an entertainer or sports player, to the activity in which they have formerly been successful.
That is comeback player of the year.
That is comeback.
Or a quick reply to a critical remark, but I'm guessing that's not a.
No, that's.
So I was just wondering because they said it on 2 different games, I think, and I was like, no, I don't.
So
think that's a
I think the Bills is because they went into halftime down 20-3.
So, okay, here's a better one. When a team engaged in competition overcoming a substantial disadvantage in points or position. So if it's a substantial and based off of us, a 2-score difference is a substantial difference. So if at any point a team overcomes a 2-score difference, that would be a substantial difference, and that would be to us in football, American football, a comeback.
Yes.
Okay.
I look at it as a comeback. They have to be down by more than 12 points.
Now, like, let's say in baseball, if it's the 8th inning and the Sox are behind 2-10,
Right.
Then you might as well go home.
They come back and win 11-10. That's a comeback. That's.
I mean, in baseball, if you're down by 2 points in the ninth inning, that's a comeback. So
yeah, that's why we don't watch baseball.
It's different.
I don't think it should be considered a comeback unless they're down by at least 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Then it's a comeback, not half. Because come on. But anyway, I just kept hearing it. It bothered me. I was like, I wonder what boys think about this.
Yeah, I look at it as got to be more than 12 points heading out of the third quarter into the fourth quarter.
I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be down by at least 10 going into the fourth in order to be a comeback.
I would say at least 10 with 4 minutes left on the clock in the fourth quarter would be the premier definition of a comeback.
I think as long as they're down by 10 going into the fourth quarter, I think that's the major thing, because a good team can hold the ball for,
6, 8, 10 minutes.
Yeah, 8-10 minutes if they're just moving it slowly down the field, picking it apart.
Maybe it's one of these mathematical things where for every minute left in the game and you're down that many points, like if you're down by 1 point with 1 minute left, it's a comeback. You're down by 2 points with 2 minutes left, it's a comeback. 3 minutes, 3 points, 4 minutes, 4 points, 5. Maybe that's it.
Well, the issue is, I mean, even on Sunday, the Packers-Pats game, I mean, they both had like 6-7 minute drives.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think either of them scored a point on those drives, but they drained the clock forever.
Drives.
I mean, that's the thing. Even if you are, that's how I say 2 scores in the fourth quarter, because let's face it, in order to get 2 possessions in the fourth quarter, it could be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hate to ask this question. I know we were running things out, but I have 2 Patriots fans. Were you both disappointed in that game as much as I was?
Oh, I was. They were afraid to let the quarterback throw the ball.
Yeah.
I'm talking just the whole thing. Both sides.
So
it was very, very uneventful. It was very boring.
So for a little while, when he finally went down and finally scored a touchdown, I'm like, all right, maybe yes, that should have been called delay game.
Zappy, the delay game that never got called.
Yep.
Oh my God, that was fucking so mad.
Like Rodgers hasn't benefited from those kind of calls before in his life.
So I was delayed a little bit, and I was actually in the kitchen grabbing a snack, and I look at my phone. I'm like, "What do you mean he had delay a game? They were just a penalty. What do you mean he didn't call it?" And then all of a sudden I see it. I'm like, "Oh, that's what he was talking about."
I mean, it wasn't one of those 1 moment ticks where what they do is like they look at the clock and they go
3 seconds. It was 3.
They look up and
it was
the ball
2.5 seconds at least.
Look down. Oh, wait a minute. Let me scratch my wrist. Look at my other wrist. Up. Oh, the ball's like.
It's like he took a text message in between looking and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna reply to mom real quick." Like, what the hell?
They reported on that. They said it wasn't a delay of game. What happened apparently, according to the back judge, was it was reset from the game. The timing clock was reset, so the clock on this field was incorrect.
Then it's that person's responsibility, and it is true. The guy has the correct time, but I feel like he made a mistake, and they just kind of.
But you can't make that mistake in front of 70,000 people, no matter what. You just
did. They just did.
The issue is what the biggest thing I heard them say was, due to the fact that they just had delayed a game, it almost never occurs twice in a row, so the ref probably wasn't looking for it.
That's what the announcer said. Some of these announcers are idiots. We are smarter than half these announcers.
Oh yeah, but that makes sense. I mean, how often do you see back-to-back delay games? Not on
purpose. Not on purpose, so that's different.
I'm saying within the past 10 years. How often do you see it?
Not on purpose? Never. Almost never.
Exactly. So I'm assuming the ref went, after the first time, he kind of went, okay, they'll snap it before the clock expires. I don't have to really think about it right now. And they weren't paying attention to it.
Pats did that to Tennessee, I think it was. Delay game,
no, Tennessee did it to the Pats. They were pissed. Yeah. But anyhow, as I was saying, after he went down and got a touchdown, I expected them to let him air the ball a little bit more and actually try and push the ball down the field, because they did a good job marching down the field that time.
Especially in overtime, you need 10 yards.
Yeah,
to get
running the ball on 2 downs and then just throwing it and to a pass that should have been completed, and then just saying, "Oh, we're gonna punt. We're gonna hope that our defense stops Rodgers," and then have our defense being 8 to 10 yards off the receiver when we know Rodgers only needs 3-4 yards at a time, and that's what he'll take just to march down the field to kick a field goal.
Okay, hold on. Time out. A better placed an $88,000 bet on Naheem Hines to score first touchdown. Just for him to get a concussion a minute into the game. Okay, continue.
That sucks.
So I'm hoping that Zappy, because he's had time to practice this week, will be more. They'll give him a little bit more freedom.
Honestly, I was very concerned that the Patriots with a third-string quarterback was going to beat the Packers. I had legitimate concerns watching the game.
Did you turn off the game in overtime?
Watch the entire thing. And the whole time I'm like, this could literally go anywhere. It could go either freaking way.
And rightfully so. You should have been concerned because, in not trying to be joking here, but Aaron Rodgers looked like he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Like shit.
I was like,
but there was no really good quarterback play in that game.
No.
I know you two. I know you three are very. I don't understand that because you've had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and you've had Tom Brady for 40 years. I'm a Dolphins fan. This is not new to me. I'm like, what are y'all bitching about? This is a normal game to a Dolphin fan. This is good quarterback play. What are you talking about?
Heard Brady signed up for the 10 to 20 years.
Rodgers hasn't thrown an interception in Lambeau in like 18 games.
Never mind.
He had never thrown an interception to the Patriots.
And I don't think he hadn't thrown a pick six in Lambeau in his career. I think wasn't that one?
He had one, and this is the second one because they had the statistic. It was like 256 games without a pick six. Lambeau Field, some crazy number.
And the Pats had never intercepted him.
Yeah, and the Patriots, you all weren't playing very well, and we were barely. We weren't even better. We weren't playing better than you.
No.
I don't know how we won. We should not have won that freaking game.
Neither team should have won the game. That should have ended in a tie.
No one won. The other team lost. That's what happened.
Each team beat each other, and we just beat each other less.
Yeah.
Where were you at the beginning of this program? You could have talked about that then. What's wrong with you, man? That's why you need to be on here.
All right, guys.
Time with somebody.
Well, let's call it a night. It's been an hour and a half.
No, it hasn't. It's been like 19 minutes.
Nope. 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 31.23 seconds.
That's all, folks.